Obviously, Black Swan signature light cone is her best in slot, but out of the more free-to-play options and out of the more accessible options, which one is the best? That is the question that I'm going to be tackling in today's video. But before some of you elitists start spamming my comments with bullshit like, "Ooh, this thing isn't completely accurate. It's not lined up with the alignment of the moon and the summer solstice and the stars," shut the fuck up. Theory crafting barely is 100% accurate. Theory crafting, we put out our theories and then we test them out when the game comes out. It's all that is. I'm just trying to point y'all in the right direction. But if you want, you're more than welcome to make a video yourself and have us be the judge of it. Cool? Cool, let's get right into it. As usual, we're going to explain the base and then we're going to go from there. We're going to focus on these columns over here for now because this is where I build up my stats. So base stats 659. No light cone is equipped at the moment. The trace for attack is active, full 28%. 0 on the chest, 0 on the light cone. We're running an attack orb and an attack rope. The base 352 for the hands. Subs, we have one substat roll per relic that can have it, which gives us a 14% attack increase. The relic set, which is the 4-piece prisoner set, the 2-piece gives us 12% attack. And then the planar set we're going to be running is going to be the PAYN cosmic set that gives us 25% attack whenever we reach 100% effect hit rate. All right, for the effect hit rate sources, I had to compensate a little bit here because of the PAYN cosmic set 25% attack increase. For this to be active fully at 25%, we have to hit 100% effect hit rate. And to be able to hit 100% effect hit rate without a light cone, it's we're gonna have to compensate a little bit on the subs. 37% effect hit rate on the subs is doable, but is not that common. So we have 37% there, 43.2% on the chest, 10 from traces, 10 from planar, and then that gives us 100% effect hit rate for the full 60% damage bonus that we see over here from Black Swan's passive. She also has a wind trace for a 14.4, which is added over here on the top. You don't see it, but it's up here in this damage bonus cell. Aside from that, we have her vulnerability multiplier, which she has on her ult. The main reason for this is because I forgot to take it out. So I did all the calculations and I left that in, so I'm just not going to take it out. However, this will not affect the percentages because I'm basing off this percentages, not actual numbers. The percentages will remain very close to the same, if not the same, because none of the light cones tamper with any of the defense multiplier or the resistance multiplier. So we're fine on that front. We're going to start with the 4-star light cones, which are these 4 over here. You do notice that I don't have tutorial mission here. And it's because that only gives you a 40% effect hit rate. And that by itself, in this test in particular, since we start at 100% effect hit rate in the first place, the damage percent increase that you're going to get from tutorial missions 40% effect hit rate is only going to be close to the S1 of Goodnight Sleep Well. So it's very much on the low performance side. It's less than this one, which is 72%. It's on the lower end. However, that would be a good light cone for you to run if you're going for a maximum ult usage or spam. So now that that's out of the way, Goodnight Sleep Well is looking really, really nice. So Goodnight Sleep Well at S5 gives you a 24% damage bonus whenever you have a debuff on the enemy, and it does it up to 3 debuffs. So the damage total is going to be 72% damage bonus. She has 3 debuffs already on her kit. She has the Arcana debuff, which is the dot. She has Epiphany, which is the vulnerability, and she also does the defense down on the skill. That's 3 debuffs that she can trigger all by herself. So Goodnight Sleep Well, really, really good light cone for her, especially since she can trigger all 3 debuffs just by herself. But odds are you're going to run her with another Nihility character or a defense shred or a debuffer that is going to help you get the 3 debuffs more consistently, I guess. Eyes of the Prey, which is the one that most people are saying that it's going to be her second best in slot. And I myself am one of those people. But to my surprise, the Eyes of the Prey, which by the way gives you a 48% increased damage on the dots, and then also gives you 40% effect hit rate at S5. As we previously discussed with the other light cone, 40% effect hit rate translates to a 24% damage bonus increase. Now, if we had the 48% damage bonus from dots and 24% damage bonus from the conversion for the effect hit rate, we get a total of 72% damage bonus. And if you're paying attention, it's exactly the same amount that we get from Goodnight Sleep Well at S5. So what gives with the difference in the damage? So, okay, this table is a effect hit rate table, and it measures the damage bonus increase that each light cone gives you at each interval of effect hit rate. So this is effect hit rate, no light cone. So without a light cone equipped, this is the effect hit rate that you have. So as you notice at 10%, equipping this will give you this. And if you notice, anywhere from 10 to 80 is essentially the same exact thing. And the reason for this is because both of them, Eyes of the Prey and Goodnight Sleep Well, both of them are giving you a 72% damage bonus increase. So from 10 to 80 is essentially the exact same thing. Things change at 90 because of how Black Swan's effect hit rate damage conversion works. If you equip Ice of the Prey S5 that gives you 40% effect hit rate and you already have 80, you're going to shoot to 120. Which means your 72% damage bonus is already maxed out at this point, which means that from 80 and on, you will not get additional damage bonus because of your effect hit rate. So for example, if you're at 90 effect hit rate and you equip Eyes of the Prey, you're going to be over here at 130. But at 130, you're already maxed out on the damage bonus that you can get from Black Swan, which is why you notice that from 90 and forward, Good Night Sleep Well is going to outperform Eyes of the Prey. Roughly, I would say from 100 and forward. And the reason I say 100 and forward is because we are running the PAYN Cosmic set, right? So we want to reach that 100% effect hit rate so we can get the maximum of attack increase. So if you can get 100% effect hit rate without equipping a light cone, then Good Night Sleep Well is going to be better off. It's going to be the you're going to get a lot more damage from that. However, if you're at 90 and below, and the reason I say 90 and not 80 is because if you notice 25061, 257, that's like what, 700 damage? Like, it's nothing. 700 damage is nothing. So the way I see it is very simple. If you can build 100% effect hit rate without the use of a light cone, then you go for Good Night Sleep Well S5 or S4. If you can't build 100% effect hit rate without the use of light cone, you go Eyes of the Prey. And that is going to be my recommendation when it comes to these two, which are her two best 4-star light cones. Okay. Resolution Personal Sweat gives you some defense shred whenever you hit them. And since you have high effect hit rate, you know, it's a good reliable source of defense shred if you ask me. So if you're going to use Black Swan as your main defense shredder, like people use Pella, for example, Resolution Personal Sweat is going to be really nice for you. If you're using her for damage, however, that's probably not going to be the best. It caps out at 103 at S5, which is about, let's see, like S4 2 debuffs or I don't know, like maybe S1 3 debuffs for a Good Night Sleep Well. So for damage, not really good. For utility, very, very nice. Okay, in 2.0, we're going to get this new light cone called something Showtime. And what it does is it gives you 10% damage bonus per debuff. And then if you have 80% or more effect hit rate, it gives you 36% attack. So with all that taken into consideration, her floor is pretty low, but her ceiling is really high because the more attack you get on your Black Swan, the higher the damage of your dots. So at S5 gets you to about 110% of the damage, which is pretty nice. It's not bad at all. At this rate, performing a lot better than Eyes of the Prey, but again, you do need the effect hit rate to make this work. And removing Eyes of the Prey is going to make it a lot harder for you to reach the effect hit rate thresholds that you need. So moving on to the 5-star light cones. Patience is all you need is the Kafka light cone. And again, if you have Kafka light cone, then you probably have Kafka. And if you have Kafka and this light cone, use it on Kafka. Okay, so essentially this gives you a lot of speed and then gives you an extra dot that helps you stack Arcana a lot more. So it works, you know, it's fine for stacking and gives you speed, but quantifiable damage upgrade, not very high. It's actually very, very low. One of the lowest, I think. Okay, moving on to Incessant Rain. This gives you 24% effect hit rate, which helps with the effect hit rate. This translates to roughly 14.4% damage bonus when equipped to Black Swan because of her passive. And then also it gives you 12% vulnerability debuff with the Aether Code. Now, honestly, not that impressive. The crit rate, unless you're going to build crit Black Swan, which I don't think you should, it's not going to do that well for you. I mean, if you have it, I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't. If you have this, you probably can afford Solitary Healing, which we're going to talk about next. It's probably a lot better. So Solitary Healing is free-to-play Herta store light cone for Nihility. Gives you 48% damage on dot after you ult for 2 turns. So after you ult, your dots are going to do a lot more damage for 2 turns. So it also helps you with energy regen. So if you're going to build a faster ulting Black Swan, this is actually not a bad choice. However, I'm going to make a video, like an actual video guide on how I think you should play Black Swan. I don't think ulting all the time is going to be like super crazy on Black Swan, but that's just me, you know, it's just me, my theory crafting brain, you know. Yeah, Solitary Healing, 112%, 113 almost, so definitely not bad by any means. All right, and now her best in slot light cone, which is kind of crazy. All right, and now for her best light cone, you know, surprise, surprise, her signature light cone gives you 40% effect hit rate, 28.8 defense reduction, and also gives you 20% attack. This gives you everything you need so your dots can just do crazy nutty damage. So as expected, her best in slot is going to be her signature light cone. Pretty crazy. As always, I have a table and a graph displaying all the information that I just went over with you guys from least to greatest damage increase. The lowest one is going to be the newer Showtime at S1. But at S5, I think it goes all the way up to right here, 110, not bad. But the top 5 light cones are going to be, obviously, her signature light cone at 138. Good Night Sleep Well, S5 and S4. Take the other 2 spots. Then Eyes of the Prey at S5. But remember, guys, Eyes of the Prey is it's a much comfier build than Good Night Sleep Well. So in my opinion, Eyes of the Prey is probably going to be second, because of that effect hit rate nuance that Black Swan has. But this is the numerical value. If you guys want, you guys can screenshot this, share it around, put it on Reddit, put it on Twitter, wherever you want. But yeah, let me know what light cone are you guys planning on using for Black Swan. This is going to be it for today's video. And until next time, guys, see ya.